Google released their official MCP for Google Ads a couple of weeks ago. MCP is how AI tools like Claude or ChatGPT talk directly to ad platforms. Instead of clicking everywhere in Google Ads, you just ask Claude and it does the work. Now, Google's official MCP. The setup is a nightmare. And once you've done all that work, what you actually get is a very tiny read-only window, which means a few reports you can get, and that's it. So let me walk you through what Google is shipping, where the limits are, and then I will show you how to set up the Markifact MCP server and actually work on your Google Ad account directly from Claude efficiently. Google Ads launched their official MCP server, which means that they allow you to connect your Google Ads account to your LLM like Claude or ChatGPT using their official MCP server and not some random connectors that you find online. So this is a very good thing. They really want to help you connect your account to an AI. But let's see what the MCP actually does. So the idea is that when you make a request, like for example, how is my campaign performing this week? Your LLM like Claude will look for which tool can I use to get that information. And he will discover the Google Ads MCP. And when he finds a tool, he will be able to execute some code, some Python code to make API calls to Google Ads and get the data that you want, the performance of your campaign. And when it receives the information, it will synthesize the response and give it to you in your Claude windows so you can actually see the data and read it properly. So this is how an MCP works. The problem with the Google Ads official MCP is that you need to create it yourself. It's not just like pushing one button in Claude or ChatGPT and connect it. You actually need a bunch of stuff. So you need a developer token from Google Ads, you need to create a Google Cloud project, and you need to set up some authentication. So it's not super easy and it takes time. It's doable for a marketeer, but you need to spend time to understand how it works. And when you have all those information, you then need to configure your own MCP server and then set it up into Claude or ChatGPT. But at the end of the day, it's a lot of work for a few capabilities. And this is the big trade-off that I see right now. Right now, what you can do with that server is list the account you have access to and do some searches, like let's call it reports, like getting metrics, getting budgets, getting status. So Google gives you a bunch of examples of stuff that you can do, like how many active campaigns do I have in my account, what customers do I have access to, or how is my campaign performance this week. So it's a lot of work, a lot of technical work to set up that server just to be able to ask how many campaigns active do I have in my account. But this is way too complex for most marketeers. So I will show you how to use Markifact MCP server to connect to Google Ads and be able to do reports, but also to modify your campaigns, create new ads, and it just takes 2 clicks and not a full day of development. Now let's see how you can connect your Google Ads account to Claude in just a couple of clicks in a very secure way. For this, we are going to use Markifact. So create an account, then come here into the connection tab and log in with your email so Markifact has access to all your Google Ads account. Second step is to create an MCP server. The MCP server will be the bridge between Markifact, Claude, and your Google Ads account. So it's fairly simple. You just need to go here and click New MCP Server. Let's call it Claude Desktop. And then you will receive a MCP endpoint and a token. Okay, so this is the secure way to connect all together. Let's go back into Claude. So when you are in a new chat in Claude, you just got to click here and click on Connectors, Manage Connectors. When you land here, you can see that I don't have any Markifact MCP connected. I will just click plus and add a custom connector. And here I need to put the name and the remote server URL. So I will start Markifact. I will input the URL from Markifact right here. I just copy this and I will add the Markifact MCP. So now Markifact MCP is set up into Claude, but you see that it's not connected yet. So it doesn't have access to your Google Ads account. You just need to click here on connect. So you will land here to that Markifact page, asking to authorize MCP access with the MCP server that we created and my email. So I will authorize, authorization successful. So once you reopen Claude and you are in a new chat. You can click on the plus, go to connectors, and you can see now that Markifact MCP is connected. It means that now Claude has access to your different Google Ads account or Meta or GA4 account that you have connected inside Markifact. So let's do a quick test. Let's do a quick reporting. So we'll just ask Claude, use Markifact MCP, check the account, the Google Ads account, LFI inverse, list the current active campaigns. And we ask this to Claude. So how does Claude is going to work? First, he will find the Markifact MCP server. And once he finds the MCP server, he will check the MCP server to understand which ad operation he needs to do to get the data that we requested. So now we understand that he needs to use different set of tools to be able to find the correct account and list the current active campaigns. So you can see now he's looking for the account, he's looking for the account ID, so he's fetching all my Google Ads account until he finds the correct Google Ads account. So you can see that he found the account, and now he's going to pull the active campaigns like we asked. So every time Claude is going to use the tool at his disposal from Markifact MCP to be able to connect to the Google Ads account and get the information that we need. All right, so Claude finished working, and he mentioned that we have 6 active campaigns currently running, and he's giving even a small report for the past 30 days and already gives a couple of observations. So this is a very simple one, okay? List the active campaigns. Now let's say that we want to go a step further and ask to make a report. Okay, I want you to fetch the top 10 search terms for the search campaigns for the past 14 days. And I also want you to give me a table with the performance of search campaign versus demand gen campaign. So compare cost per conversion, and volume of conversion. So now it's a bit more complex. So Claude needs to understand better what we want and what tool he has available inside Markifact MCP. So Claude finished working and he was able to get the top 10 search terms. You can see here with the impression, clicks, and cost. He was also able to create the table as we requested for the demand gen versus search campaigns, conversion, cost per conversion, even clicks and impression for the last 14 days. So you see, you can ask pretty much anything to Claude. He will just look for the tools inside Markifact MCP to understand how to do it and give you all of that information inside your chat window. Now, let's do write operation. So right now we ask Claude to get some data and do a report. Now we will ask Claude to actually do an action inside our Google Ads account. All right, so we ask Claude to pause all the campaigns that contain that specific campaign naming. So now he's asking confirmation, like, do you want to exclude those campaigns? This will pause both campaigns. So yes, this is exactly what you want. So now he's looking for ad operation on how to pause a campaign. And now you will see this pop up. So every time you want to do an action in your account, like creating a campaign, pausing a campaign, deleting something, it will ask you for your validation. So you need to click allow, always allow, or deny. In this case, obviously, we'll allow him to do so he can pause the campaigns. So he mentioned that it's done. Both campaigns have been successfully paused. So let's go back into Google Ads account and let's refresh and see our campaign, and you can see now that the campaign are paused. So it's a very simple example with just pausing campaign, but I could ask to delete those campaigns, I could ask to create new campaigns, I could ask to exclude negative keyword, you name it. So all the actions that you do manually, you can pretty much do anything through the MCP and through Claude. And if you want to know exactly what you can do, you can just simply ask Claude, what type of operations can I do with the Markifact MCP server? So Claude will load all the tools from Markifact MCP and will list all the operations that we can do. So what do we have? Markifact gives you access to more than 300 operations across major platforms. So you can see it's not only Google Ads, you also have GA4, Search Console, you have also Meta, you have TikTok, you have Snapchat, you have a bunch of platforms. So you can do read and reporting operations, like we just showcased, but also write operation with approval, like creating site links, ads, restructuring accounts, pausing campaigns, creating campaign, you name it. So now the question, what can the MCP do without my approval or with my approval? To check this, you can go here into the connectors and manage connectors. And when you click on the Markifact MCP, you can see here, you can decide and set up what the MCP can do with or without your approval. So you can see here, for example, all the write and delete operations, it will need approval all the time. But for the simple operation like list connections or run simple operation like getting a report, it doesn't need your approval, it can just do it. So you can modify this, okay? If you don't feel safe, you can just change this inside the MCP, so the MCP will ask your approval for everything. Or if you are very confident, you can allow everything, so Claude will basically have a wildcard in your account. You just need to ask and Claude will operate into your account without asking for approval. So this is how the MCP works. It's really a bridge between your Claude and your Google Ads account, and you can pretty much do anything. Google's official MCP is a signal. The platforms are opening up to let you connect your accounts to AI. But for marketeers, it's all set up paint for almost no payoff right now. If you want to actually run Google Ads from Claude or ChatGPT and pull any reports, build campaigns, editing ads, managing budget, all of it, Markifact link is in the description. You set it up once and you can get access to every platform. And you can do everything on those platforms. Reading, but also writing. So set up Markifact right now and start managing your account from your preferred LLM, Claude or ChatGPT. All right, that's it for me. And as I always say, I see you in the next one and happy automating everyone.